Happy Monday, friends. If you're watching the video, I decided to have some fun with the effects this week, so you're seeing me in sepia tones, and I'm not mad about it. Looks pretty good. So my guest this week is Jeewan Gill. We had a great time chatting, and I was able to cut out a clip that was one of the funniest, 30 seconds that I've had on the podcast. Just I was really happy with the joke I made. I don't know. I'm a narcissist, though, so we're all gonna have to deal with that. And right before we get into the episode, I just wanted to say that if you guys want to help me out with doing this podcast, one way you can do that is just by emailing in to the email that'll be in the description. It's outsidetheparty@gmail.com. And just let me know if you have any interesting stories from when you were growing up, and maybe we'll read them on the podcast. And also, just if you want, you can just let me know if certain parts of interviews really resonated with you, and maybe we can cut some clips out of that, see if it works with other people as well. Like I said, thanks again for listening, and let's enjoy episode 8 of Outside the Party. Thanks so much, guys. Hi.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Nick? I'm actually really glad this video, because people have to see this fucking room. I've been dying to talk about this room since I got
100%. Is that why you've been antsy?
Yeah,
you've been
I got here and I immediately wanted to comment on the room. So much commenting. But I was like, I should fucking wait till we start recording. Look at this, there's, and I mean this in the most complimentary sense.
Here, 1 second. Let me. I'll pull up my fucking phone, and then I'll do a video while you describe it. And then I'll cut this in.
No, because I mean this in the most complimentary sense of, this looks like a fucking 12-year-old's room, but in the best way. This is exactly what I would have in my room.
That's exactly what I was trying to go for. It's I put up all of my nerdiest posters. From
I am the biggest Assassin's Creed fan on the planet.
I love Assassin's Creed
so I respect the hell out of those posters. I want to name my kids Ezio and Altair.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's how deep I'm in.
I'm on board with Ezio, but
Altair?
If a kid looked like you with the name Altair, he would have a rough time.
Yeah. Listen, man, racism's gonna die in the next 8 years or so. So
there's a. You know what I just realized? I forgot to get us water, so you're going to keep talking about the room, and I'm going to run.
Alright, this is the professional side.
Yeah, it's all professional.
Yeah, the Star Wars, there's a lot of Star Wars here. And I'm not actually, I watched Star Wars, the new one, and I gave up on it, because I just never got into it. I never got into the what's the word I'm looking for? I watched them, I know what's going on in them, but I never watched them full through and through. And
I fully heard everything you said.
Yeah, so I'm whatever. Yeah. But Assassin's Creed, I was fucking down for. Suits. Which I watched one episode off, and I thought that guy was such a douche.
The main dude, the one on the right, right?
Yeah, the one on the right.
Yeah, he in episode 1, he's a super douche, but
everyone says he gets better. But
but it's kind of that thing where he's sort of an anti-hero. So there's there's a track of redemption for him throughout the seasons.
You think? So? Here's the thing I want to point out. The guy's hot, which is why he's allowed to be a douche.
Yes.
And women are like, no, but he's a sweetheart on the inside. It's no. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a sweetheart on the inside. If you're a douche 90% of the time and you're nice 10% of the time, you're a douche. But since he's hot, that's the only thing I don't mind that he's a douche and he's hot. Just admit that he's a douche and he's hot.
Well, the thing is, this kind of goes back when I bring it back to the actual topic of the podcast, it'll work out great. Because if you're that hot, life is just easier for you across the board, right? I had this conversation with my ex once that just if you took shot for shot her day versus my day or any other person's day. She her day would be better just because every interaction that she starts with a smile on the other person's side.
Right.
Whereas for me, it's like you a lot of the times you get a scowl, or just like an impassive, or like, okay, what do you want? What do you want, man? Like I've been here for 6 hours. Let me make your latte. But what do you want?
There's no
where she walks in,
to have interaction.
See, let's do. You'll be her, and I'll be the barista. You walk in.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, what can I help you with? Hi. I love your earrings.
Can I get a latte?
Yeah. Do you want any special milks in that? I mean, we're supposed to charge you for it, but
that's the difference.
I'll get you some coconut milk for free if you want. Do you have an Instagram? Do you have an Instagram?
The difference is that like her latte, you know that thing where like the latte's made with love?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that latte, like. You're both gonna get a latte.
Yes.
Her latte is just going to be better.
Yes. Mine will be made with spite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get the pumpkin spite latte?
You beat me by a second. I was taking a sip of water.
That's why I love talking to like comedians that are quick. You're both like we're gonna get there
for the thing. Yeah. There's also the Game of Thrones. How much complaining about Game of Thrones did you do?
Not much, man.
Really?
Not much. Because I'm like a realist in that, like, no matter what they finished on, no one would have been happy. Like, even if it happened, like, Jon ended up on the throne, everything went the way it was supposed to, people would be like, they took the easy way out.
Yeah.
Like they should have alienated the audience. Yeah. Like, you know, like that would totally be the different headlines.
But like, that's true. For sure, but they out of all the ways they could have they took the dumbest way.
Yeah,
for sure. So like there was like, you could have done something weird, and like, what's her name?
I will say this: I did not see Bran
on the
throne at all.
Okay,
at all. See, so that turn, I respected that turn because it went with Game of Thrones like logic of like, what the fuck just happened, right?
Yes, but it also made no sense because he didn't want to be Lord. Episode before.
Yes.
The episode was like, do you want to be Lord? Like, I can't be Lord. And then the next episode was like, I could be King though. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. But also, like, is Bran on the throne? Because my prediction was no one's gonna be on the throne. And technically speaking, the throne got
destroyed.
So like people go like, Bran is king, but Bran wasn't on the throne.
Yeah. So he's on a rolly chair.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can't really.
Yeah.
So they didn't even make
Do you know what's hilarious is that like the show is set kind of in the past, like in medievalish times. Do you think eventually, like before he dies, he'll have like an office rolly chair?
No.
Well, he also with like 6 small wheels so he can spin.
He's also predicting, like he knows everything about the past and everything about the future.
Well, no, he knows everything about the past, and so like he has a really good idea, like he has a really good barometer of what's about to happen, right? Because you know, like what's that saying? What's that saying? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, right? So he knows all the rhymes. So when he freestyles about what's about to happen, like he's hitting those bars.
Is that what it is? Because
I'm not a rapper, and I really respect my metaphor right there.
But the thing is, he came to King's Landing, and he was like, oh, why do you think I came all this way? It was like to be king. So I thought like he knows the future.
Yeah, I think he just called it.
Oh, he just made it audible.
He's like, I know. Like, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but like, no, there was definitely like if there would have been like, oh, Cersei wins. And somehow like defeats everything and then remains queen.
Well, you know
that would have alienated the audience. Plus,
you know what would have been cool is like if like Daenerys goes crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Cersei ends up killing her. Mm. Cersei takes the throne. Jaime's with her, but Cersei starts to go crazy. Yeah. And then Jaime has to kill Cersei. Yeah. And then like Jon's just like, yo, what's up? Like I'm here. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. There's like. There wasn't even really a Game of Thrones so much as like one episode of like the thing is
right
like,
at the end, it was
like
really
when the Night King thing happened, when it actually happened, I was like, whoa! Like that was
a dope episode.
Yeah, it was. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then the first half hour, I was like, that was amazing. And then after the first half hour, I thought about it a little bit. I was like, that was really stupid. Like it was just cool. Yeah. When it happened. but then it's like afterwards.
Chronologically, it's like that happened.
It was like a really funny prank that your friend's
Yeah.
pulling you, but then like it's like when you walk in
drawn
your room,
out by thousands
yeah,
of years.
yeah. It's like when you walk into your room and they've like glued your bed to the roof and like whatever. You're like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then afterwards you realize I gotta take all this shit.
Yeah,
down.
I gotta deal with this
Yeah.
now.
I did that to a friend. I was living in Windsor, went to school there, and I make this face. I do this
Yeah.
like this triangle mouth thing. And she hates it. She can't stand it.
Yeah.
So one time she was home. And,
Is she horrified by it or
yeah,
annoyed?
she's just like, it just pisses her off. Like, it just drives her crazy. And so every time, so she left to, yeah, exactly. She left to Toronto.
Yeah.
And I printed that face on 500 sheets of paper. I went into her house, into her room, and just like your walls here. I just covered it, right? And
What'd you use as adhesive?
Tape. I just taped
You just
taped
taped?
it everywhere. Just taped it everywhere. And like I went deep, like under her sheets, in her books, in her shoes, like
Things that you wouldn't find the first pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like so.
When you get angry, you pull
Yes,
shit down, and then
exactly.
it's like finally, and then the next day it's like, all right, I gotta just.
It took 3 hours. 3 hours of just taping everywhere, and then we had our roommates tape it, and like just walk. So like, she walked into what the fuck. She literally ran over to my house and chased me with a stick. It was honestly one of the funniest things I've ever done. And the
so
best part
funny.
about it was, like, she kept finding it for months after, because then like she'll like open a book and like go to read, and then like it pop out, and like and when she was moving, I put it under the mattress, so when she was moving out, she like went to move all her shit, and it was under the mattress still more, and she kept finding them. And then
so
I
funny.
also had like a couple hundred left over. So, like, even to this day, like, every time we hang out, I'll bring one sometimes, and I'll stick it in her purse. And then she'll go home, and she'll, like, look into her phone and find it, and then fucking text me, like, I hate you so much. It's so much fun. It's the gift that keeps giving.
It's like one of those inside jokes that... that one makes a little bit more sense because it's just organically funny and just the idea of it. Mm-hmm. But I have this one with my friends that it's just... we were at a cottage. I don't remember how we got to this, but like we started like falling on the ground laughing every time I started singing like a stupid song. It means nothing.
Right.
It was like, if you're an individual and you're wearing pantalones, and I would just really commit to singing it and dance while singing it, and just heavy eye contact. Don't remember how it started, don't remember why it's funny, but yet every time I see my friends and I do that, like we all just start giggling and like start crying. Like it's like,
oh my god,
it's inexplainable.
Yeah, it is. And it's also like it doesn't make any sense to anybody else. Like that's no matter what, you can explain it, and do it, and it's like no, it was like
you had to be there.
Yeah, it's like that saying you had. You ever seen like a new comic who brings friends to the show, and then we'll do like an inside joke?
We'll do play to them,
Yeah, like we'll do an inside joke, and just the look on their face is like, oh, this isn't funny to anybody else. It's like, yeah, that's the number one thing you have to learn is like, no one knows anything about you or what you're doing.
Well, what I heard on this, I was listening to the Burt cast, and he had Jim Jeffries on as the guest, and they're both like storyteller comics, right? So they were talking about telling stories, and then they said the biggest difference between them and just a guy on the street that's telling you a story is that Jim Jeffries was like, I will never, ever have to say you had to be there. Right. Because I do my job well enough that you didn't have to be there. You're here now. I'm telling you, you were there.
You're paying
that's what's happening, right? And so that was a great thing. So that's the biggest realization I've come to with like trying to make jokes work just in general, is that. I think it's a Chris Rock quote, but it's like, if they don't laugh at your punchline, it's because they don't understand your setup, right? Like they have to understand your premise. And so some of my things that, like the one I did on Saturday that really, like, people really enjoyed about the gentleman stuff. Yeah. Like it's such a ridiculous premise.
Yeah.
But like, they followed my train of thought, right?
Yeah.
So if they didn't, like, I've been doing that for like 3 weeks, and it wasn't working great.
If they would jump aboard at the first station.
Yeah, and I did it yesterday, and it did not do well. They were like, and I realized why, because I did it as like my second joke. You need to have like a rapport with them. Before you get into that joke.
That's exactly that's another lesson I learned was like, oh, you can't just jump into.
No, you got to be likable.
The weird shit right away. You got to be like, they have to be on board with you.
Well, they have to understand your intent.
Yeah.
And so if you just jump into it and just deliver the joke, like they can't. So you kind of they have to get a sense of you.
Oh
beforehand,
yeah, I remember one set I did way back, like this is like 7-8 years ago. It's like, so it was the Boston bombing had happened. And this is about 10 months afterwards because the Boston.
You still have the beard, right?
Yeah. The Boston Red Sox won the World Series after. I don't know if you remember the bombing happened on the first day of the season.
Right.
And then by the end of the season they had won. It was such a big deal because it was like Boston won the championship after being attacked, and so I go up.
So the bombing happened, and then the team's like skill just really.
Yeah. That's the fucking joke I went for. So like the day after they won the championship, I did a joke about the Red Sox winning the championship, but it was just smattered in with like punchlines that were just implying the bombing, right?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, the game was a real pressure cooker, and in the end they nailed it.
I've heard you do that joke.
Oh no, I did that one time.
Really?
I opened with it. I walk onto stage, and that was my first joke, and the whole audience goes, "What the fuck?" and then like after that I was like, yeah, so my dad like no one's gonna go on like, no, you're not gonna just come on, put a pile of shit on the floor and then act like the rest of the stuff's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I did that once. I went up intentionally to bomb. Because I was I was on like a hot streak. I had done like 8 or 9 shows in a row where I either did really well or I killed, like, and so I was really uncomfortable with the streak. I was like, because then like
you're really uncomfortable. Do you think anybody goes to McDonald's like they're working the girls like, I made the hell out of these 11 Big Macs, man, because like they just throw one of them against the wall.
Like, you know when you bomb and then you go up the next time and you're like, it can't be worse than that.
Right.
So like you're like, whatever happens.
Right.
But like when you're on a hot streak, like the bomb just gets scarier and scarier because it's like you've come so far from it. So I went up and I was like, I went to like this open mic. I was like, I'm not going to do anything that works. I'm not going to do any joke that I know gets a laugh. So I went into my notebook and...
I don't understand.
Where do I have it here? Yeah, I have it here. And I'll let you... I won't put it on the podcast because in case it becomes gold in the future. But here, read the title of the joke I opened with.
Let's see. Both raped in same weekend. That's where it starts. That's where you open with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is an intentional bomb right there. Yeah. What is the logic?
It's a 2-minute story that ends in a silly joke. And,
but it starts with that. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some piece of advice.
Yeah.
That's and not so, like, the order in which to do that.
And so I went up with it. I was like, and I told the audience, I was like, you know those bits that you write in your notebook that you never do.
Yeah, there's a reason you don't do those bits.
We're gonna do that right now. And I got laughs. I got laughs throughout it, but it was like you know when they're raptly paying attention.
Yeah.
And it's tense.
Yeah.
It was that because like I sat on the stool and I was just sort of talking and then it was
right. But it's also like was it the kind of laughs where it's like people are laughing
horrified. Yeah.
People going like comics in the back like laughing out loud because they can't believe you're saying this.
Yes.
Like I can't believe
it was a combination of the two.
Yeah,
it was very.
Dude, I never understood. So like you, first of all, I love.
To be clear, when I said both raped, it was talking about me and my male friend. Okay, I just want to put that on the record.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you didn't read the rest of the thing. He can say whatever the fuck he wants.
I'm just picturing someone just cut.
Yeah.
Paste. Cancelled.
First of all, it's cute. You were like, I had 12 good shows in a row, which is enough for you to be like, I have to bomb now. But I also never some guy. I remember my first year. we were just in the back at an open mic, and I was talking about, like, I feel like sometimes I was talking about comedy a bit, and he just goes, you know what you should try is just go out there and bomb on purpose. Just really, really everything you do is bad, just so you know what that feels like. And I'm like, kind of ridiculous advice is that? It'll happen. You know what I mean? It's at some point you're gonna have.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand what he's saying because I'm a control freak. So that's why I like stand-up, because I can come up with something in my head, I can take it on stage that night, and I can say words that make people's bodies do things that they don't want them to do. Okay. Right? That's what we're doing by making them laugh. Right?
The way you phrase that with the I can make people's bodies do what they want me to do explains why you wrote that joke. both raped at the same time joke. I can make people's bodies say what they're supposed to do.
When I clip this,
I'm really uncomfortable in this attic.
When I clip this out, the subtitle on my response will just be horrified giggle.
I didn't say.
I know.
I'm the one that I heard uncomfortably in this attic with you now.
I just heard it. I heard it after the fact. It was but the reason I say that is because, like, it's a weird sense of control, because if you're doing your job right, you're controlling everything that's basically happening. What you're saying, how you're delivering it, and people's response. If you're doing it well, right? And so going up intentionally and saying, like, I'm just gonna, like, intentionally bomb, I'm gonna say all of the worst things, I'm gonna put myself really deep in the hole just to feel what that's like. Because then when it happens again, you're like, oh, I've done this to myself before, so I know what it feels like. So you're not scared of the feeling anymore. So then when you're in it again, you're like, I've felt this before. I know I can survive what's happening, and so like, you remember how long it took you to get comfortable in silence on stage?
Yeah.
It took me probably 6 or 7 months just to get comfortable, like, letting a joke sit.
Right, but you don't want to get too comfortable. Like, the job is the laughter.
You still need the fear, yeah.
Yeah, you still need the fear. You also, you're chasing laughs. Like, that's what the point is. We're getting to make people laugh. So I get that, like, there's a silence. You got to be a little fine with that happening. But like, you still want to make sure that the goal is still the same goal, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it's gonna happen. Even like a joke that ends up being good starts out in a place of, like, silence, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'll have, like, maybe half a giggle. I remember one of the jokes I do now that is, like, it's probably it's like a closer oftentimes where it's like, this is a great joke, and it has a moment. I have a couple of jokes like that where it's like, I stick the premise out there, and the audience will go, what the hell? Yeah. And there'll be either like a nervous laughter, or or just like a little literal pucker up. But both of them, I get them back with the punchline. Like, I take them over there
because you
bring them back.
Yeah, you put yourself behind the 8 ball. Yeah. Yes,
and the premise is not dark. Yeah, it's kind of dark, but the premise is kind of ridiculous. And then they go, okay, and then I bring it back with the joke, and they go, and then the release of that tension of, like, where they go, what's the point you're trying to make? And oh, that's the point, and the point makes sense. Right. It's actually what my favorite thing is, which is, like, take them out and bring them in. Yeah. But that, like, that will, like, at the beginning it wasn't
intentional.
Yeah, like, the beginning was, the response I got on the first time I tried that joke was, huh. Like, that was it. Yeah. But I still knew it was, like, something funny, so I just kept working on it and brought it back. But I didn't, like, do it on purpose. I just knew that there was a laugh there. Right. So there's no point of, I think, like, going up with something that if you know it's funny and the audience just doesn't get it, that's great. Like, keep working at it, you'll get them. Yeah. Hopefully. Or your joke sucks. But but, like, if you're just going up there, like, I'm gonna intentionally bomb this. Yeah. Like, there's no point in that. There's point of, like, chasing the laugh and then you don't get it. Because, like last night I was doing this joke.
To be clear, I don't mean write material that will intentionally bomb. Yeah. I just mean, like, go up and don't do material and just try and riff, but, like, do it poorly.
Crowd work's definitely a skill that, like, needs its own, like.
That's why I want to host more shows. I think you could. That's the only good way to do it, because I'm at that point where I'm so starved for stage time still, like, because I just want to get up as much as possible every night, and I write enough that, like, when I get on stage, I'm like, I want to write. I want to say what I wrote. I want to see. I want to see if this works. So I don't want to, like in a 7-minute set. I don't want to burn 4 minutes talking to someone.
Right.
Where it might just end up being like, so yeah, you're a dentist.
Yeah.
Cool.
I see what you're saying, but like, well, that's the other thing about living in Toronto is like there's no point in. I just keep going back to what you did, which is like I don't want to keep attacking you or anything like that, but I'm just
it's all
making a point of like there's so little stage time, and I personally feel like there's such a wave of stand up in this scene that like you have to bring it.
It's so hot right now.
Yeah, so you have to. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go out and try. Like I always
typically I've done this on lineups where I looked at the lineup and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. but even that, like you know what I mean? Like it's so like the thing I feel about most shows in Toronto that I'm on, I'm like, if I didn't come to this, like it would have made no difference. You know what I mean? If I just didn't, if I missed my spot, it would have made.
Still would have been a good show.
It would have been fine. It would have been fine without me. Even if I kill or I bomb, whatever. Like if I murder, if I do okay. If I eat it, whatever, like it would have made no difference. So like like you can either take that as like I don't matter, yada yada yada, or you can take it like I do, which is I'm motivated. Like I have to show up.
That's pretty zen though, right? Like you're just I have to do this to do this.
Yeah, it makes it just for you.
Yeah,
it makes it just for you because if it's like whatever I do with my 7 minutes is working on my craft or whatever you want to call it, right? And it makes it so that you're motivated to get out there. Because it doesn't matter if you don't show up, right?
Yeah.
You could just move on. So, like, that makes it, like, I gotta go. For me, right? Mm-hmm. And then, on top of it, it's, like, the other side of it is, like, if you kill, the audience walks away. You look at it like I was funny, and then just walk away, go home. And if you bomb, the audience won't care. They'll just go home. Yeah. And that's can work against you because if you're trying to make like a...
Well, that's the best advice I got from Liam Kelly. He's told me that all of these sets don't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
even if
they unless you're showcasing or it's a big career moment, they don't matter. And so
you're never gonna if you don't do that's what I'm saying. If you don't do the sets.
Yeah.
Then your showcase won't matter. Like it won't matter.
I think we talked about this on Saturday. Was that our whole endeavor, even if like when we end up being successful, when we look down on what happened to get us there, like our foundation is just shit. We build a foundation of doing crappy shows and bombing and making and putting in the time so that we earned our like our battle hardened wounds and stuff, and then we move up and then we stop dealing with shit, but everything's kind of built on that.
For sure.
There's still pillars of shit. There's still pillars of shit that come up within the structure, right? Yeah. But generally, the whole bottom level is just you dealing with.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's like weightlifting.
Yeah.
If you have a weightlifting event where you're supposed to lift up 500 pounds, if you haven't started at 50 and moved on to 100, 250, then lifting 500 regularly in the gym. There's no way you can just show up the day of and just do 500. I've seen people.
Yeah, I don't care what your cue cards look like.
Yeah.
You can't just show up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, yeah, you can't. There's people.
I did a competition last night and I didn't make it through because 4 of my friends canceled on me, so it's great. But those Brager shows, right? But and then it was a competition, right? So you're supposed to pick your best stuff, and then 4 people pulled up sheets of paper in the middle of their sets. Oh. It's a 5-minute set.
What is this? It was at
the it was at the end round. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then I respect everyone doing it, but when I see that, I'm visibly mad.
Yeah. dude, that's not even.
You can't memorize 3 jokes.
Yeah, because it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes.
Dude, I remember. Well, first of all, I used to take notes up.
I could have nothing on me. You put me somewhere. You want to do 5 minutes? Yeah, let's do it.
But that's a milestone, right?
Yeah.
Because in my first year, I used to take up the notebook, and the thing is, I never looked at it.
Yeah.
I was too nervous to even read, but
It's a safety net, right?
It's a safety net.
Safety
That's I get why, but I understand. It's an amateur competition.
Yeah.
I think the 420 one's like 2 years in, right?
Yeah.
I
Like,
did a
less,
competition
yeah.
once. I did it's same thing, right? Like that's one where they kind of let in a lot of people and make it over the course of a month, which is fun. Those shows can be fun, and the thing
This is like a comedy brawl-esque.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you a comedy brawl story that's way worse than people bringing in notes.
Yeah.
Was I did comedy brawl one time. My first time when I first moved to Toronto like 2 years back, and there's this guy on the show. He had bought like a couple friends, and he goes up. He's doing his thing, and John's
Marston? Yeah.
running the show, and this guy is supposed to be 5 minutes, right? And he had told us, I'm giving you the light at the back of the room. You'll take your cell phone out, flash a light, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, is doing his thing. Hits 5 minutes. John hits the light. Guy keeps going. John keeps going like this. Keeps flashing. Nothing. And like the guy's is not done. First of all he's looking only at his friends and only going this way to do the show. So he's not even looking up at the light. Then John starts walking down the middle of the audience, like with the flashlight on, kind of like a cop coming at you through the crowd. No one in the crowd is paying attention anymore, just looking at the guy in the middle of the room with a light on, right? And going like, I think this guy's time is done. No, everyone in the room knows his time is done except the guy on stage, and John's halfway up the audience before the guy looks up, and he looks up at John, then he covers his face and goes like kind of like why is there a light being shined in my eye? And then looks back at John, and then he goes, what are you doing? And then he goes, oh, and then he looks back at his friends. He goes, I think my time is up.
Your time was up 3 minutes ago.
No, it was like a good 12 minutes ago, right? Then the guy finishes
12 minutes?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Guess who moved on to the next round? Yeah.
You did 15 minutes?
No, he did close to 10, I think.
Jesus.
I can't remember. It was just so fucking funny.
So bad.
It was so funny because John walked from the back of the room slowly, like a soldier, just flashing it. Every single person in the room saw the light except for the guy who was supposed to see the light.
That's so funny.
So fucking great.
So my guest today is Jeewan Gill.
Do intros?
Yeah. We're 31 minutes in, and I'm going to introduce you. So this is. I always record an intro at the top, so they'll know your name anyways. But I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the show because we've been shooting these shit so well. I didn't want to interrupt it because it was going well.
Yeah, I just put me on a podcast and just talk.
Oh man, I love that. I'm that way too.
Yeah.
You just give me a microphone. Yeah. We're talking about this.
Mm.
Okay, I have opinions. I have opinions.
No, for sure. I did Todd Van Allen's podcast recently, and it was like. We did an hour and a half, and then he's we gotta wrap it up, and I'm like, well, we're good. He's not have stuff to do. I guess my life is just empty and boring. I have things going on in my life.
So the name of the podcast is Outside the Party,
okay.
And so the reason I call it that is because throughout formative years, like elementary school, high school, and stuff, I was never invited to any of the parties because I was a loser. So I was always outside the party, looking in. And so a lot of the things that I can identify as positive facets of my personality and the way I conduct myself, I could trace back to there's the trauma that made me have that skill, right? There's the thing that made me this person today.
Right.
And so I just like interviewing people about what they think they see in themselves that are a product of that. So
did that make you a comic or just
it makes you a better person, or it makes you survive. So people that listen to this, they might also have been losers in high school and can relate.
Right.
Or it's people that are actively in high school right now and they're not having a great time, right? And we're giving them beacons of light at the end of the tunnel to think about.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just gonna start out what kind of kid were you in school, and where'd you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Surrey, BC. Which is, if you're not familiar and you're in Toronto, it's like the Brampton.
It's west of Victoria, right?
No. Surrey, BC is. Surrey, BC is west of Victoria.
That was a geography joke for people that didn't get it.
First of all, it's east of Victoria.
Yeah, I know. West of Victoria is in the ocean.
Surrey, BC is right outside of Vancouver, and it's the Brampton of Vancouver.
Oh,
except
amazing.
it makes Brampton look diverse. Like people go like, oh, there's so many brown people in Brampton, but you don't understand that the brown people in Brampton are actually a mix of a number of different type of Indians.
Yes.
And in Surrey, it's just the one type of Indian, which is Punjabi, and it's just that. So if you live in Surrey, you can never speak English and be fine.
You know what the good thing is though for the white people that live in the area, like their racism is prescribed. It's like, this is what you have to know about this culture, and this is what you have to be racist about. And if you call them Punjabs, you're good, right? Like, you won't offend them, but you'll offend them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like, sometimes I think about it where it's like...
Because people can't tell my race, so then they're ambiguously racist to me sometimes, and then it's like, you need to do your research, bro.
Yeah. No, like, yeah, there are definitely, like, most white people in Surrey know at least the swear words. Like, they know how to say sister fucker.
Yeah.
Because that's the main swear word in Punjabi. And they...
That's fun. I don't even know that, and I'm half brown.
What kind of half brown are you?
Going? Yeah, my grandparents speak Konkani, but
that makes sense.
But I don't. They never. My dad doesn't speak it, so I don't speak it.
So what's the other half then?
Italian.
Italian? Where's the Fernandes come from?
The part of Goa was colonized by the Portuguese.
Okay, that was what my prediction was.
Yeah.
And I was like, does that?
So that's why like my grandparents are Catholic. But they're from Goa.
No, actually that's...
Yeah.
I know a lot of... No, I don't know a lot of... I know a couple of Goans that are Catholic.
Most Goans are Catholic.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Dude, I'm the biggest Billy Talent fan on the planet.
So hard left.
Yeah, the hard left. Billy Talent is the greatest band ever made, and Ian Dessau, who plays the guitar... on
Dessau, that's like Dessau, D'Souza, DeGamma, Fernandes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all Smiths.
He plays the guitar. He's the lead guitar in Billy Talent, and I met him once outside of a show, and he was saying, I was Catholic growing up. I'll tell you a funny story. I hope this somehow makes it to him. So I think I helped him.
We'll cut this. Okay, wait, right here. Go ahead.
Okay, I hope this makes it to the lead guitarist Ian Dessau of Billy Talent, because I think I helped him get laid once. Not that he needed my help, but they had an album drop a couple of years ago, Afraid of Heights, and they had 2 album release parties, one in Toronto, one in Vancouver. I was in Vancouver at the time. They played the Roxy. It's a bar in Vancouver. It's fantastic, and so they're playing the Roxy. I got tickets, one of the radio contest things. I got tickets, I went, and I was so pumped. And there was me, a friend of mine, and there was only 2 other brown people in the whole bar, and they just came to us. I don't really like how this happens, but
Marco!
Yeah, exactly. They came up to us, and we made friends, right? So we watched the show, it was crazy. We hang out in the back alley, I wanted to get shit signed. I'm that level of fan, right? So everyone came out, we got shit signed by everyone, took pictures of everyone, right? Except Ian, who was like, everyone's like, where's Ian? And everyone sort of left because he's not coming out. I'm like, alright, cool. So we leave, we go back to the front of the bar, and we're talking to the bouncer, and I'm like, hey, do you know where the guitarist is? He goes, he's right there, and he just points outside. We're sitting in the back alley for an hour and a half waiting for him to come. He's standing in front of the bar outside, and they're that level of it's they'll sell at an arena, but they're also they can just hang out in front of a bar and no one will notice type of thing.
Right. So because I can't even picture them right now, right?
So we go, and so then
I know they're talented.
Yes. So this he's talking to some girl outside the bar, and he looks like he's doing fine, but me and 3 other grown brown men, we're not 16-year-old fans, we're 26-year-old fans, but we have savings accounts and shit, and we walk out hi, Ian, oh my god, picture,
oh my god,
and this girl's standing there, and we're she's a good-looking girl, has never been ignored like this by men in her life, right? We didn't care, we give her a camera, we throw her a camera.
But right at this point, this is Ian in her eyes, right? This is her, she's a stock, he's a stock.
Yeah.
And then as you guys come by, it's just
we didn't even look at, we just gave her a camera without looking, hey, the picture, and we little children, and she took 3 pictures, and we're one more, and then she just gives the phone back to us, and she goes, nah, And then she just grabs his hand and she goes, let's go. And gets out of here. And I was like, dude. So Ian, not that you needed it, but you're welcome.
You know, one day, a young Punjabi boy will do the same for you outside of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. You have higher hopes for me than I do.
Is that Jeewan Gill?
Yeah.
Oh my god, sir.
That's the funny thing about.
Can you sign my guitar? You know I do stand up, right? Just sign the guitar.
That's fucking hilarious.
I'll tape the microphone to it.
I remember I did a show once. This is in Vancouver into the mix, and I guess these guys thought it was funny, so they came up to me after saying, "Hey man, can we take a picture?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then like they're like go to like they give somebody the camera, and I go to take the picture with them. Like, "Guru, really funny, thank you." Okay, I go to take the picture, and as I'm taking the picture, I just go, "Oh, you guys are the first guys to do this. Like, I've never taken a picture of them before, right?" And they, like, as I said that, we took the picture, and they turned around and they were just like, "Oh, that was weird." Like, we thought, like, they thought I was way more successful than I was. But, like, this guy's definitely, like, we should post a picture. And then
what you basically did was, like, a girl came up to you and was like, "I think you're really cute. Can I get your number?" And you're like, no one ever does this. You're the first one. You're the first one. Usually I need some tools, some prep beforehand.
Yeah, usually the guy needs to be way drunker.
Usually my parents are involved. in this.
The thing about, like, the weird thing about comedy is, like, and a comedian will know this, how funny you are does not even need to translate to what, like, what your success level is. There's so many other factors. Like, and what I mean is, like, if, like, not on stage, like, how funny you are obviously is what affects your stage presence, but for crowds to be like, "Oh, like, we should go see so-and-so," it's like, "Oh, he's been on something or the other," right? It's
you need credits, you need to...
No, but not credits that are comedy-related. How many credits I've seen where it's like...
Oh, yeah, JFL, and they're still doing bars.
No, but JFL is at least like a comedy festival. Yeah. I mean, this next guy was a host of a Food Network or something. Like, this next guy does a YouTube channel where
John Katuch.
It's like okay, well, what does that mean for what does that mean for how funny he's gonna be? And that's for like it happens. Like I have the advantage of I'm 6'7", giant beard, man bun, right? And so
you make a statement,
dude. People have come up to me constantly when I'm living in Toronto, especially because it's a bigger city. Like, "Hey, you're a comedian, right? Like, you're a comedian." Yes. Like, you're like, I saw you at so and so. Like, they wouldn't remember me if I looked more normal. Yeah. But since I am, like, I get this sort of like, and I'm so bad at it. I'm like, "Oh, should I be plugging my Instagram or something?" I don't know what to do. Like,
I'm so much that way. Like, I've had that happen a couple times, and like your self-esteem just goes like, "Oh."
No, but the funny
when it happens.
No, but the funny thing is, like, I'm a pretty sociable guy. Yeah. Going back to, like, I never was growing up, but now I am.
Were you an introvert that you flipped the switch?
No, I was, like, outgoing. It was just no one liked my outgoingness until I did. I remember.
I was kind of the same thing.
I'll tell you comedy advice that I got in, like, the 10th grade. Gary Atwell. I'll name him.
Yo, Gary.
Gary, no, thank you for this advice, for sure, because I used to, like, we had PE class together, right? And I've always been, like, a storyteller. I've always wanted to tell stories, like, I've always been, like, let me tell the story about something that happened to me, right?
Yeah. Your commute to work.
Yeah, whatever it is. So I would start these stories, but my stories were hideously boring. And, like, they were too long, I would give too many details, like, I'm trying to paint that picture, and so we were talking about earlier about, like, painting pictures with your words. Yeah. Like, this is my version of painting, but like I would Jackson Pollock.
Right, like the way you did it, like you were like they wished they weren't there.
So Gary comes. Exactly. Gary comes. "Hey man, your stories are really boring, and you need to lie more." That was his advice. You need to lie more about what happened in your story to make them interesting. And ever since then, ever since 16, just been lying more in my stories.
That's great.
Embellishing shit just to make it funny. That was probably the first piece of comedy advice I got, and probably the one that sticks out the most. 10 years before it, like 5 years before it got.
The advice that I give, I probably heard it somewhere, but the advice I give myself is that when I'm trying to tell an interesting story, I look at like what the cool things that happened in the story were, right?
Right.
And then I choose my ending
and then I work backwards.
Right.
Right? Like, so then I'm like, this is the coolest thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put that at the end.
Right.
And then we're going to work backwards.
Yeah, like if you're storytelling on stage, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm great at anecdotes, because you can tangent off of anecdotes. There's no time constraint, right?
Yeah, what I mean is, like, a lot of people, like, especially when they're starting out, forget that, like, you're still supposed to do jokes. Like, even if you're telling a story,
Yeah.
you just need punchlines.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Like, if you tell a story, it's gotta, like, it's interesting. The audience will be laughing, but they won't be, like, mad at you. They'll just be, like, quiet and kind of, that's interesting. And, like, but to get the laughs, you still need the punchlines.
Yeah,
So
it's more of a one-man show than stand-up.
Yeah,
like,
like,
you're
no,
just
but
delivering
that's,
a story.
it's like a joke like any other. It's just...
Do you have these jokes where I did this one? I've probably had 3 or 4 of these at this point, but where you deliver them and they giggle and then they clap at the end. They don't laugh.
Yeah.
Because like what you're saying is just true.
It's-
And that's it.
yeah.
And that's it. Like
It's
there's
not
no
funny.
there's no extra punch ups or anything.
Yeah.
It happens when you just start. But it's a good way to start a bit, like when you first do a bit, because that means it makes sense.
Yeah,
that means
at least
the bit makes sense. So then you can always add jokes to
This
it.
happened
but-
this happened last night. I'm doing a joke right now about well, not right now. I mean, like, I just did for the first time yesterday a joke about, because I'm broke, so I go to the dentist at the University of Toronto's Faculty of Dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
And which is like, the joke is like the story is just like how ridiculous it is. You go there and there's a student doing your teeth and all
Right.
that sort of stuff, right?
Right.
And last night, like, no one really laughed because my punchlines were all brand new. I literally went to the dentist yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I went to a show after, and that was my 7 minutes of the night, and they.
It was a tepid 7.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the crowd was just like, yeah. Like, oh, that's like, they were smiling. I saw them smiling and nodding. Like,
And then afterwards they
this
come
is
up
humorous.
afterwards they come up to you. They don't ask. They're just like, so did you get the fluoride?
Yeah. Yeah, they did not give me the
What
fluoride.
flavor? What flavor?
Yeah, no, it was funny because, like, the instructor comes over and checks up on the student. Like, basically the way it works is like the exam. They do the exam
I'm just
themselves.
picturing like the worst case scenario. You pulled the wrong tooth.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do the 6th
Yeah,
incisor.
because like, well, the other thing is, like, in a dentist chair, you open your mouth.
You pull the white one, not the black one.
You assume the kid knows what he's doing, right? But, and like any other thing where they're training you,
That would be a good.
they'll take you in the
bit.
back.
Yeah.
This is the bit.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, the thing is, like, they come. So basically, he does like this. Yesterday, what happened was, he did this weird, like, tooth measuring exam or
Yeah.
something. So he's doing that in my teeth, and he's writing down, like, the measurements of the space between my gums and my teeth every time, which whatever reason they have to do that, right? And so I figured he knew what he was doing. And then the instructor comes over to go over his answers, basically, and it's just like, all right, so what did you get on 1, 2, which is like they name the
Yeah.
teeth 1, 2, 1,
Yeah.
3, like that sort of thing. And she goes, oh, point 2. He goes, no, 0.125. And then how about on 1, 3? Like 0.5? Like, no, 0.4. And I'm like, you got none of the answers right. I'm like, dude, you.
The thing I was about to say is like,
I was disappointed in my student.
even if it's not like if it didn't happen, like what's the worst thing that they can mess up? It's like, so you could tell that story, like that part, like
Yeah,
messing
yeah,
up finish.
I see what
It's
you're
like,
saying, yeah.
I'm just happy you didn't mess up this.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I'm just happy we're doing a gum graft and he put my asshole in my
Yeah,
gums.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm just happy that like.
Yeah,
You're
he
like,
did-
I was out. He could have done whatever he wanted.
Yeah, he was
I
also,
could have
like-
gotten circumcised and a gum graft.
He was
I don't
also a
know.
fairly nervous guy.
Yeah.
Like, he poked me in the lips with those little needle thing, like the little hook thing.
Yeah.
He poked me in the lips a couple times. Oh, so sorry. And he's like, you can tell it was like close to his first time. He's like an open micer, fucking dentist. And like, I'm like, you have no premise. There's no punchline. You're just a story.
So what else are we gonna clean about?
My favorite part about that joke was how excited you guys. Like, wait.
It's a parallel with stupid.
You told the whole room to shut up. I'm the only other person in this room.
Well, I'm telling the camera, put the Netflix away. Stop eating snacks. Stop chewing.
Stop scrolling right here, or whatever the fuck you're doing.
The funniest part, I'm so excited for that. If people aren't comedians, didn't land.
Yeah. Yeah, another inside joke. Of
Yeah,
all these
that's
comments.
great. That's great. You had to be there.
No, the amount of Another inside jokes that you get.
So what made you first get on stage?
So there was like
What made you think?
No, I'll take it from the beginning. We're talking about me, right?
Yeah.
So
sell yourself to the audience.
So when I was 8, actually, I'll take it way back. When I was
Amazing.
8 or 9, I had a lot of comedy DVDs in my house, and the DVDs were maybe like 8 or 9, whatever it was, right? So the DVDs were of these comedians from India, these Indian comedians,
Really?
Punjabi comedians, yeah. And we'd watch them over and over. And we had the audios, we had tapes, we had.
Are they clean?
No, yeah, there's clean. They're sketch comics mostly.
Mm.
There's no stand up. There was no stand up at the time. It was just sketch comedy with like a little bit of like intros between. Those
Right,
audios,
almost Chappelle show-ish.
Yeah, Chappelle Show-ish. The DVDs were definitely like that, and the audios were the same thing. It was just audio sketches, and then they would introduce the clip like, what if so and so was so and so, like all this Indian stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we'd listen to those constantly. They'd have yearly ones, like they had album drops like everybody else does, 1998, 1999 album, whatever, right? So I would listen to those, and then at family gatherings, I would do them. Like I would do the sketches.
A nice little recital.
Yeah, for like my cousins, my uncles would be like, get up in the living room and do,
So many comedians have this story about like them putting on little shows. I struggle to think back. I never did any of that.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I was such an introvert. Like my parents used to have this is why the book that I asked you to take a look at. I used to always have a book under my arm, like a novel, like tucked in right here, everywhere I went.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we would go to dinner parties, and my parents would have to yell at me to stop reading.
Right.
That's the type of kid I was, right?
Right.
But then I on the flip side, I was also Italian, so around the dinner table, like when we had like big family dinners, you weren't allowed to talk
Right.
unless you had something to say.
Right.
So you had to get good at storytelling and anecdotes and all of that quick. Otherwise, it's just like, just eat your food.
Yeah.
Because someone will talk over you.
Somebody.
Like it's they won't even give you the light or tell you to shut up. They'll just talk over you and you're done. That's all that happens, right? So I kind of learned how to own the room and like say like, you're listening to me now. Like,
right.
Like, and I just had that on Sunday at a show. It was a bar show. It was in Ajax, and like it was rowdy, and like people were started talking a lot, even during the host and stuff. And then I got up there and I was like, "You're gonna listen to me now, because if you don't listen to me."
Did you give them those eyes?
Yeah, 100%. I was like, "You're gonna listen to me now, because." In this climate, if you don't listen to me and don't laugh, it's a hate crime. It was a mostly white audience. I was like, you figure after what Justin was doing, you guys be a little bit more considerate. I was like, you're on thin ice right now. And then everyone for the rest of the set was just like, okay, we're listening.
Yeah, bar shows out of town are like that. You gotta like, whatever you do.
They're not on your side off the top, you're fucked.
Yeah, well, you also have to shock them into. I just grab the mic and just say something ridiculous right off the top.
Yeah.
To be like because like there is like a
Cocker Spaniel superhero.
No, but there is like whatever your energy is transfers to the crowd. So if you walk up there with like my first couple of years, I was walking up there with like a super nervous energy, and so the crowd gets nervous for you. So like I've seen that people
they can sense it. It's like a chemical thing.
Yeah, so it's like if you walk up there now, like I stopped caring, and like I walk up there and I'll just grab the mic and be like, I'll walk out and it'll just do it in a way that you can tell like he doesn't give a fuck, but in a good way, and they relax and don't care because I relax. I'm relaxed. 100%. So that you have to keep that. Like, and that's I picked it up from doing those shows, the bar gigs in Ajax and Oshawa and stuff.
Well, the hardest I've killed has been shows where I don't give a fuck how this goes. Like when you go up, it's like it's a shitty show. Like no one's doing well. I'm gonna get up there. I'll do my new shit. We'll work something out. But then it's like lightning in a bottle because it's like you so don't care that you're just confident in a weird way.
Right. So that's where I developed that from, was doing the shitty shows where it doesn't matter and no one cares. But what you want to do is you want to keep that, whatever that nugget of I don't give a fuckness is, keep it going to all your shows, right? So then it doesn't matter, like, and it's a balance. Like you can't, you want to keep that I don't give a fuckness, but you still want to have the like I wrote this joke, it's funny, it's good, that sort of thing, and you want to take that I don't give a fuck and you want to put it into your delivery. Yeah. Because a lot of things is like delivery's half the battle. So if you have a funny joke and it's not landing as hard as you want it, it's probably because you don't emphasize enough because you're still kind of nervous, right? So if you lean in and you go like, you ever been there, whatever, right? But that you can transfer that I don't care, I don't give a fuck to your delivery, and then it makes it that much funnier. So
sometimes it's just a word, or like I've heard that, and I've tried it in some bio bits, and it's true. It's like you get a P sound, a K sound, a T sound, a P, like just like something that like pops in your mouth as you say it, like Buick.
Yeah.
Like that's just an inherently a funnier word than say a Toyota.
Yeah.
Like Buick is funnier than Toyota.
Yeah.
And why? It's just the word.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just the way it sounds. Like a K sound. It's like that's why people just swear out the wazoo, because fuck just sounds good.
Right. But like, the point there is all like, first of all, the joke coming up to the word Buick has to be good.
Yeah.
And then but it's also the difference between saying Buick and Buick.
Yes.
That's like that, and so if you apply the I don't care.
Yeah.
And the I don't care is just what makes you comfortable.
And
right?
you
Like,
also
why are you so comfortable amongst your friends? Like when you're hanging out with your group.
Because you know that like you'll get them on the next time. Too,
no, but also
right?
like it's also you don't care. Like it's not like, why are you more comfortable with your friends than you are on a date? Like for example, right?
Because there's stakes.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So then what you need to remember, and this is. Once again, like another like a development thing for me when I was growing up, it was like one of the reasons I wasn't invited to the parties is because I was just nervous to talk to people,
right?
And that nervousness transferred to them, and then they don't want me at those parties.
See,
it wasn't like like this guy's not. So it's like I was like hey, like I was always like trying to think what's the cool thing to say.
Yeah.
So because I put stakes on everything, but then after a while you realize. Like it does, like it doesn't matter. Like people aren't really thinking about you. It's not like that I leave and they're like, oh, like let's talk.
100%. It's like you were killed or you bombed. They probably forgot about you afterwards.
Exactly. So like that's life.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about like the Toronto comedy scene. The comedy scene of life is exactly like that.
Yeah.
And
comedy is very high school too.
It's
It's so cliquey and stuff. But I was a nervous kid too. But like I got bullied a lot. But I kind of took it a different way where I stopped being nervous around people. I just got angry. Like I was just like I got arrogant and
I had a couple
uber confident in my skills. Like so
right.
I knew I was a smart kid. I knew I was great in band.
Yeah.
I knew that like intellectually I could put anyone that was making fun of me in the fucking ground.
Right.
And so I just leaned into that. So I became a huge asshole in that kind of facet. Because socially I was a little bit of a pariah, but then we got to the classroom, like, and like people would need help with their homework, and like if they were shitting me and they asked me, I would be like, fuck right off.
Just lie down on that couch now and let's just make this a therapy session about you. Because I get the anger. I get the anger.
If I go back and I was thinking.
By the way, any comic you'll for sure make. Yeah. Give it an opportunity to make it about yourself.
Yes, 100%. Well, that's why I like this podcast, because I just interview people and like let them make it about themselves, and then it's just. And then I think I like to think I'm good at asking like good questions that help propel stories forward or take you into interesting tangents.
Because I'm always searching for a laugh. I get how you went down the train, like the path of like I'm gonna be angry about it now, right? And I just never went down that path. I always wanted people to like me.
Well, the thing is, I realized I got my affection and everything at home. Like my parents were incredible parents. Like they loved me. My extended family, my cousins and everything. I was killing. Like so, I knew that when I got home, I was good. Like I knew that as soon as like school ended and I got home, my life was gonna be good, right? Mm-hmm. So then I was just kind of suffering through school, and then I had my oases of like my friends that I got to hang out with. But like generally, I didn't enjoy myself at school, and I didn't know that I hated it or I wasn't enjoying it until I got to university, and I realized like, oh fuck, your whole day could be good?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What's happening right now? You can enjoy your life for most of the day?
That's funny.
And then so like, you know, when you hindsight's 20/20, you look back, it's like, no, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours out of the day were rough. Alright. It's like
no, it's funny because here's what happened. When I was in high school, I started high school, and it was not like I was super nervous and all that sort of stuff. And towards the end, grade 11, grade 12, I sort of got it more. I sort of got like, okay, like this.
You hit your fucking point. That's what happened for me. I hit my fucking point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not exactly. Like I was playing more basketball. I got on the basketball team, which is like a big deal to me back when I was.
Oh, you're tall?
Yeah. But like 8th grade and 9th grade, I never made the basketball team.
Were you too lanky? Like you had
I couldn't control my.
Yeah.
Even by like.
You're the kind of praying mantis.
Yeah. So to me, it was like such a big deal to make the team, and then in 10th grade, I barely like they didn't put me on the team. They like brought me in as like, you can come to the practices if you want though, and then eventually they just put me on the team, and then 11th, 12th I actually became a more of a.
I did that for volleyball.
Yeah.
He made me like be like the linesman.
Right.
And like the manager, so I would like be like, this is the guy that's in next.
Right.
Because I wasn't good enough at volleyball. Like I didn't have a good jump.
Right.
Or like, but I had an incredible serve.
Right.
Like I could serve like from the back and just be like, ace.
Yeah.
Ace.
Here's the difference is because what you said about going to university. So by the time high school was ending, that's when I got it together.
Yeah.
And like I could hang out. People kind of liked me. I never was like I wasn't who I am now. I was just I filled whatever the thing that I was supposed to be. Like I wore the clothes, and I was like I was caught up. I caught up on the like I was current with whatever I needed to be current with, and like.
Did you like kind of write out like this is the cheat codes for what we?
No, I just kind of figured them out, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just more relaxed about it because I thought I'd figured it out. But then I go to university, and like I said, Surrey. It was when I went to high school, all Punjabi people. Then I went to university at the University of Victoria. Nobody. Like I was, and you gotta remember, I wasn't a minority growing up. I didn't feel like a minority growing up because I grew up in a place all Punjabi people. There was actually only like 7 white people in my school. Like literally. Like I could count my white friends in high school on one hand.
I didn't know I was brown until like grade 4.
Exactly. So like, and then I got to Victoria at like 18. I realized, oh, I'm a minority. And then also all those skills I had cultivated about how to how to be more sociable, out the fucking window because this is not how you it's a different culture now.
Yeah.
So it just became like I'd walk around and it just the same nervousness I had at the beginning of high school. It just all came back first couple of years.
Because you're a big fish, little pond, and then you went little fish, big pond.
No. What I mean is
just like socially, or
no. Like what I mean is like I figured out that like you have to make fun of your friends to be friendly like that. Right. Then when you get to university, people are like, why is this guy making fun of me? You know what I mean? Like
you came in too hot.
Yeah. And then dude, where I went to high school, everyone shook hands with everyone, and I mean like the fucking clap. Up, down, pound them. Like I'd walk through the hallway, I'd do 20 handshakes with every person as we walked through. Like, hey, what up? Like lean in.
Why are you late to class? I don't know. Jeremy, put me over the.
Yeah, exactly. It was literally like 25 handshakes a day, or a period even, right? And then I'd get to Victoria, and no one shakes hands. And so you walk up to people, you're like, hey, like so and so from my class. I walk up and then I go like this. Like put my hand up to start a handshake, and they'd look at me. What are you doing? Yeah. And then like they'd wave, and like they go, oh hey, and then they wave like I'm 5 feet from you, but you're still waving at me. Stuff like that, where it was like, okay, the everything that like like the handshake was my opener. Right. I didn't have a hand, then I'm like lost. Yeah. That's my first thing. So
and usually I closed on a handshake too. So, that was my closer.
Yeah. So like I'm fresh out of material, right? So
you want me to go right to the middle? Like we don't even have a rapport going. So your mom died.
Yeah. So what you're saying about like you got angry?
Yeah.
I get where I could have gone that way, just didn't. But then I realized that I was a kid with a turban. I was a brown kid with a turban. People in high school even then they treated me different because most Punjabi kids don't wear a turban, right? And they aren't actually that religious, but then they'll treat you differently because they know that you're like not that you necessarily are. They just think you are based on that. But they still know people who wear. And in Victoria, I'm the only kid. Like you know what I mean? Like
when did you stop wearing it?
A couple of years back actually. I wore it for a while, but like I stopped.
I think I've seen pictures of you on Facebook. With it.
Yeah. I stopped. I stopped really caring about it way before.
Yeah. But you were just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Right? Like
exactly.
I mean, I grew up like we mentioned. I grew up Catholic, so
right.
you stop you stop like following or stop believing everything that you're hearing, and then you 2
but-
years later you stop going to church.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing I realized in university was that people weren't like they were. I would show up. They were nervous to talk to me because I'm the different kid with the turban and
Right.
and I'm lanky and tall, right? So what I have
if you go around with a petition, it looks like you're recruiting for something else.
so like they kind of like it wasn't even that. It was just like they never had met anybody like that,
Right.
And it's not their fault.
Well, it's
So
kind
I
of like
realized that
it's
I
kind of
need
like
to be-
in this environment. It's like you don't know sometimes like what pronouns to lead with, right? Like so with you, they were probably like, I don't know how to like. Do we do
Right,
hi?
right,
Is it hi?
right.
Is it hi with this guy?
Yeah.
Like I don't-
People do complain a lot like that, like if it's race or about trans issues, they say like, I shouldn't be on me to tell like you white person how to do it, right? Like you should like you should know.
Yeah, it 100% is because like you don't know my name until I tell you what
Exactly.
it is.
like if you're trans, for example, and
Yeah.
you say like, hey, it's they, right?
Yeah.
Like you should like that should be your first.
If I get that, I'm like, okay, fine, fair enough.
If
We're
you
go
tell
forward.
me,
We're good.
then I'm
don't
like,
be
yeah, for
angry
sure.
that I got it wrong the first time
time,
because
exactly.
I don't know. You don't have a sign.
That's
right?
what it was
Like-
me. Like I realized people were, and it's like like, I'm not saying trans people don't go through a whole lot of shit.
Right.
People are totally hateful towards them. I get that, but a lot of the time it's just people just need the clarification.
Right.
So they just like and if they continue like if they go, hey, I prefer they,
Yeah.
and then they go, I'm calling you a he, then yeah, that's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But for the most part,
Well,
it's-
we went through this with race like for a really long time.
It's still going through it.
It's still going through it. Like it's still a slow process, but like in this house we're in right now, like this is my nonna's place, and like when my parents first got together, my dad's very brown and my mom's very white Italian, and they did. My mom and my nonna didn't talk for a year because my dad's brown,
Oh.
and so like
Yeah,
and but
tell me
now
about
like now I'm her favorite grandkid, so that's what happens,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm half brown.
Yeah, that one's a weird one too.
And
but-
she even loves like my nonna, like she's in her 80s, and she loves like her gay neighbors. She's like that one's the wife, that one's the husband, which is hilarious to hear
Yeah.
her talk about. Like we'll sit on the porch and like she'll just shoot the shit. It's like, oh, this one her wife just her husband just left her, and then she'll give me all the gossip. It's like they're the gay. And like that's what she calls it, the gay, and it was just great. And then she has no prejudice against her. She's like, so like, and then one time I asked her like, so how do you feel about the like people being gay? And she's like, oh, it's like whatever they want to be doing. It's like I just don't like when they have kids. I'm like, oh, why is that? She's like, because then they raise them to be like them. And then I was like, okay. And then I was like, I just like kind of like poked holes into her logic. I was like, so what happens when you have like regular parents or straight parents, and then they have a gay child? And then she just looked at me and she was like, so what do you want to eat?
The old people like basically that's their way of saying how like I'm as liberal as I can be.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, like, the way
But like she's in her 80s. She
Yeah.
lived through the Great Depression, 2 World Wars. Like she's good.
like, she's not gonna like. That is the thing. Is like how far can you take them? And the thing is, they don't want to like the changing of the subject is classic old person for being like no like that. Stop. I know.
And she got so good with it when she started getting she has hearing aids now. But sometimes like I think she does hear, but she just uses what?
I don't.
Nothing is coming. Nothing is coming. That's
The
that's
Italian
Peter's
grandma
joke.
had an Indian accent. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like that is an old person thing. It's also here's another thing with the older generations of like those ones that are quote unquote more accepting, more liberal. Like they're like, hey, no, it's fine, it's great. Like I don't mind. But what they don't mind is when other people like it's like
It's as long as it's their own family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, came out.
Yeah, we have a lot of those in my family because of the demographics. I'll probably mention on the next episode coming out because I'm gonna make sure that I can talk about this. But there's a lot of hypocrites in our family that like they preach a lot of things. They're like very Catholic. They say things and they're like all like you gotta treat people how they want to be treated. You have to be respectful of everyone, love everyone no matter what's going on in their lives, but also fuck the gays. Like,
Yeah.
like, and then so that's the kind of the
funny, yeah.
and then so you hear them like you'll hear two separate lectures, right?
Right.
They're I guess with it enough not to put them in the same lecture, but it's like the lecture about like the secret, putting out positivity, wanting good things in the world, but also it's like, I don't think gay people should be able to get married. What's going on in the world? How is this happening?
Yeah.
Who's allowing this?
So I have this in my notebook for a bit where it's like, the thing is about religious belief. It's like people will rely on it to stop the things that like my parents don't want me to marry my girlfriend because she's Muslim, right? So, and it's like our religion is based on accepting, like one of the big tenets is accept all creeds, all religions, treat everyone the same.
Yeah.
It's probably the most, and every religion
Which
has
religion are you?
Sikh.
Okay,
Yeah, so
do you wear the bracelets? And
No,
stuff?
I don't do anything
Yeah.
anymore. But like that, well, growing up, I went to a Sikh school.
Right.
And that was my
Yeah.
elementary school, grade 1 to 7 was a Sikh private school. So
Right, you guys are the warrior protector class, right? Like that's like the history of it.
Yeah,
right?
if you say so, but like.
Well, like, I mean that's
my
the
dad is
history,
not
and then
very
like
much
and
in
then
shape. He wouldn't be fighting much right now, but that's
Yeah.
the background. Yeah, that's what it came out of, and that was just because.
Well, I mean, fighter in like the like you championing sense,
Yeah,
like you
that
take care of
made-
the people around you, like if you
that
don't leave people out in the cold.
influenced the history a bunch because
Yeah.
in the beginning it wasn't like that. So if we're gonna go into Sikh history for a second, there's 10 gurus.
Drops me some knowledge, man.
There's
Yeah.
10 gurus,
Yeah.
so kind of like 10 messengers from God,
Right.
and the first 5.
Which one did Mike Myers play?
Play the right one, sir. That movie is great. I don't care what anyone says. I went back and watched it. When I was growing up, I thought that movie was amazing. All right.
Oh god.
I remember thinking that movie was hilarious.
You know what the best part of that was? That you were so earnest, and you looked at me as like, and then as I was asking questions,
yeah.
you were like, he's asking a real question.
Yeah. Oh god, I will. That movie, I remember watching.
Oh, that's a clip right there. That's a clip. That's a clip.
Yeah.
Hour 10. Hour 10. We talked about the.
You know what
love
makes for
guru.
an interesting podcast is when the host starts taking notes of what part was good, knowing that just sets up for the next one not being good.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
What's it called? Yeah, they. So where was I? So
There's
Mike
10
Myers,
gurus
Mike Myers.
and 10
Yeah, so
messengers
anyway.
from God.
So the 6th one, if I remember correctly. So the first 5 were very hippie, like sing-songy, sort of like, you know, you need to love one another. You need to, you know, like whatever.
All played by Gandhi. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, they're all Gandhis. So the 6th guy made a lot of the changes and made the whole warrior thing, right?
Right.
Like brought in the sword, like the fighting in the army of it
Yeah.
all, right? And that's because at that time, that's when we started getting invaded. Like India started getting invaded by Muslims, I
Yeah.
think it was. So
Well, society always changes to respond to
Well, that's what I'm
threat,
saying,
and
so-
like and to funnel into whatever you.
Well, that's
need
the
to
thing, the first
sustain war,
5
right?
guys
That's why we
were
have
like-
factories, like and the types of school days we have is because we were building factory
Right.
workers in order to build more bombs and shit, right?
The first 5 guys were very like love one another, don't hurt anybody, and the 6th guy was like, well, actually God said if somebody's invading you, then you're allowed to kill them, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the way they go,
Yeah.
like, they just needed that opening so they
Yes.
could go kill people. And that's everything. You know what? Pork is not like you're not supposed to eat pork. It's because at the time, people would die from eating pork because pork is
Trichinosis.
yeah, exactly. So it was like you couldn't convince.
Thank you, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. God said don't eat pork.
Yeah.
And then people now be like, God says don't eat pork. I was like, dude, like it was pork is cleaner now because we
Also
struggled with
shellfish
it.
too, like because it's like
Same thing. It's like that. So that influence. That's why people think warrior class because the last 6, like from 6 onwards to like to the 10th guy, it was all a lot more of a warring
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So then they brought in like, oh no, every Sikh should carry a sword. Why? Because
When was the 10th? When was the last 10?
it was pretty late, like 1699. 1699.
Okay,
I think. It's a funny thing.
No,
because
I'm picturing like the 11th guy. That was like you
There
know
is no 11th
that that was in the 1800s. It was like I'm a messenger from God, and everyone was like,
No, we
bro,
didn't.
come on.
So
Yeah.
what happened was the 10th guy said, "This is it. Like we're done. God has nothing further to say to humanity."
That is such a
Yeah. So he
like just objectively ridiculous things like our society will become a spacefaring race. We will move forward into the future, but No more messages.
Man.
There's nothing more to learn.
People say that, but like I don't. Look, if you look at history, you could see how easy it would be to convince. Like think how easy it is
It's
to
hard to
convince
convince people now.
No, it's not even hard to convince people now, man.
Well, of like
Psychics
a religion
and astrology is still booming.
Okay, I have a great story.
There's
on astrology.
storefronts.
I have a great
crystals.
story on astrology.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
So the 10th guy said we're done, and then he took the written teachings of all 10 guys, put them into one book, and he said that book now that's the guru. That's the holy text of Sikhism isn't just isn't just like
it's a compendium of 10.
but it's also treated like a person. Like that's the 11th guru.
So do you have to hold it at a certain
way?
way?
Yeah. No, you can't just walk around under your arm like an 11-year-old Nick Fernandes.
Yeah.
Like, you have to hold it on your head and with a towel in it or something, like a blanket or something to cover your head so it's not touching your head. You gotta treat it very.
Have it closer to God or something.
Whatever the reason is, like that's how people. No one carries it around normally, right? So like that. That's what
the text says.
This is like the spark notes on Sikhism. No, I don't think the text says that. I think people like it's just like Eastern.
This is the culture, right?
It's just Eastern religions will do it a lot of humanity is about symbolism and we can throw back to Game of Thrones. Power lies where men think it lies.
Yeah, you have to believe that it's true in order for it to be true.
So think about why. Think about the rule of law, right? The rule of law, which like we all follow laws.
Yeah.
The example I use is if you're at a red light in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. No other cars around, you're still stopping at the red light. There's no one around you. Why are you still stopping at the red light? You know what I mean?
Red light camera.
No.
No, I know. I'm trying to be a little shit there.
This is an asshole.
Hi, come on my podcast. I help you.
But think about that. Like, why are you saying that? It's because the rule of law is really strong.
Right.
And the rule of law is really strong because we believe.
We're creatures of habit.
No. It's because as society, this is my theory anyways. We
Yeah.
believe in the rule of law.
Right.
We believe in this is, and whether that's because we're born into
it. We all believe in myths. It's all types of myths.
Following laws is a type of
our
religion,
banking system's a myth.
But have you ever been to court? Like, have you ever been to court?
No. I'm not drunk enough.
So what I mean is like when you go to a court, like everyone stands up when the judge comes out, you bow, all these different things.
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
No.
That's not needed.
Judge Judy said so.
But why do we do that? But I used to think it was stupid, but we did that. We do that because you want to put some sort of reverence. On judges, on the law. Right, so like anything you do related to law is very official. There's all these sort of rituals, and the reason we have those.
Well, it also puts investment on the people involved, right? Like if you're a part of what's happening, you need to respect it.
So that's what.
It's why like you have good cognition.
Religion is like you can't walk around with like you got to treat the Bible like you can't just whatever, and people get mad. It's because that reverence is there.
Right? And some people use the paper as rolling papers, but there's different types of people.
Think about it, like how mad would people get when people do that?
Yeah.
And the same thing is like you can't people when you break the law, people get mad. They're like, you broke the law, and and society generally speaking gets mad at you.
You're right. But it's also that Joker thing where it's like it's the law, but it's also like as long as they not that movie, like Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh.
Like as long as everything goes to plan. Yeah. Right? Like you can blow up a truckload of soldiers, great. But you blow up a truck full of doctors, everyone's going nuts.
But that's the other reason that both the rule of law and religion stay strong is because they provide that stability.
Right.
So think about where the rule of law isn't as strong, places like Syria right now, where it's not.
They can't trust it.
Exactly. Like it fell apart because people stopped believing in the law. It's like banks. Banks are where we all keep our money, but banks only function.
The money doesn't exist.
No. Easy there, Alex Jones. Like what we're saying.
No, 100%.
No. But
money multipliers, all that. Like
you guys didn't see his face. It was like the way he was sitting like this, and they just went. Yeah, but the money doesn't exist. But what I'm saying is, but we believe.
You know what, Joe?
But we believe it exists, right?
Yeah.
And banks only function off our money.
Right.
Banks, take our money, send it somewhere else, and it's a circular thing. If we all went to banks, if we all went to the bank and just took all our cash on the same day, the financial system would implode.
Right.
So
probably at this point, only like half a percentage of money exists.
Yeah, but it needs we need to have faith in the financial system in order for the financial system to function.
I think I talked about this in a previous episode to explain how it works, and like the person I was explaining to, like it blew their mind because it's like they only have to keep 10% of your money when you deposit it, right? And then they lend out the other 90%. And then picture that other 90%. People are borrowing that 90% from the bank, and then they're redepositing it in another bank that's only keeping 10%.
Right.
So by the end, it's like there's nothing left because you just keep creating money. It's not like you're imprinting it. It's just you're creating money out of thin air because it's just a house of cards. So like you said, we all called in our money. Everything you pull out the foundation, it all just collapses.
Right, but on top of that, like people go and all this investing and financial markets and stuff like how are the markets going to react? Like it's this singular being, but it's not. The market's reacting. What that means is how are people going to react? So the whole financial system is based on people because that's who made it, right? So it has the same emotional tendencies a person does. So if the markets get nervous, it moves. Like if people get nervous, stuff moves. So for example, right now,
they're a symbolic representation of people's confidence in companies.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Going
such a dumb
system.
Thing, Like it's like a girlfriend that's like like how is she gonna react when I tell her this news? And like how is she gonna, like all that?
If that isn't a bit. Fucking write it down. It's great, like your relationship is exactly like the stock market. You come in with new information, you're not sure how it's gonna affect the market.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll write.
You just hope that you don't go bankrupt. And it's I'm just hoping I don't go Blockbuster on this bitch.
Yeah. Writing a joke about this kind of subject is difficult, and not because of it's just like.
It's very easy to become misogynistic.
No, not even that. Like what I'm talking about is talking. Right,
the stock market, like
the stock market is because the election just started, right? Like a couple weeks back. So I've been doing more political jokes, and they've been about half landing. And I've like I
is it a Chris Rock thing? Is it a Chris Rock thing?
No,
they don't understand your premise.
Yes, but the reason they don't understand my premise is because they don't know the information. Right, like I made a joke about Canada selling arms to Saudi Arabia, and the reason, like I can tell when my joke doesn't work, and because the joke wasn't good, I could tell the joke doesn't work, and the premise wasn't on, because the general public doesn't know anything about Canadian politics.
Right.
So
now you have to write other bits to lead that one, that educate them.
Yeah, right? But then like the thing is like. You're not even just lecturing people, like.
Well, I mean, like you, it's easy to do that, but then you just have to write better. That's all it is. Like you have to be more creative. If I like, for me, like I don't follow politics, so I don't write political jokes, right? So like, but if I was gonna do a political joke, I'd have to do my fucking research and be able to like and. I think I would be good at it. I think I would be good at it because I would be coming at it from a place of like I don't know anything, so I need to let's just learn the bare bones of what we need to know in order to make this joke work and for it to make it be understandable.
Right.
And then it's like that. Now you have to deliver your setup, your punchline, your premise, all of it. Educating them, but making them laugh at the same time.
Right.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah, that is the hard part. And people, and like half the audience, like I don't really want to hear about this. Like that's not what it's up to. So you have to make it that much better.
Right.
If like people go like, oh, like so and so jokes are offensive. It's like, dude, there's always people complain like, oh, you can't do jokes like the way you used to jokes. Yeah. And it's like, no, man, the scale. Like I remember before I ever started comedy, like 10 years ago. The scale was always there, and it was like if your subject is going to be this offensive, it better be this funny.
Yes.
So that scale still exists. You can still go this offensive if you want to. Maybe this shifted up, but it's got to be this much funnier. Yeah. And that does cut the fat off a little bit because like people were getting away with shit before, but they.
Yeah, like I don't think hack jokes work as much anymore. Like there's still like there's still some of them.
Like if you have a joke about.
But I think people are more conscious of it now. At least at least other comedians are like if you see someone doing like a super hacky joke like where the Indian accent is the punchline.
Yeah.
It's like. all right, I'm not booking you on anything. Like if that's what you, like the quality you're a bit, or like something about like picking vegetables as a Latino joke, like and like that's not like even if it gets a laugh, dude, that's not funny. That's not like it's not original. Like you're not like there's no you're gonna plateau, like, and then there's also like on the other side, on the woke-ish side, it's like you have female comedians that make jokes that are just I hate men, and that's the whole joke. Right, like there's no other side to it where they go like I hate men, but I love them because of this, but yet I still hang out with them. It's like no, I hate men, I hate men, and I hate men, and then the final bit they end on is yeah, but I'm single if anyone wants to talk to me. Like it's so like it's like, I don't know what you're doing.
No, like here's the thing about both of those types of like it's like I got good advice from a friend once. It's like it's not what all those comedians are doing is thinking this is what the audience wants to hear to laugh, right? And that's just a natural thing of starting out. But what eventually has to be is like not what is funny, but why is it funny coming from you?
Right.
So,
so what's your barometer of whether or not like you stick with a joke? Like you start one. And then like because like I've only had like 3 bits that the first time I've taken it on stage is basically the same way they stay because they were just lightning in a bottle. They were great. I might have added a couple tags, but generally the same thing.
My barometer is this.
Because most jokes fail. Like right.
Yeah, my barometer is this. I go into the shower, and while I'm taking a shower, I think of something that makes me go huh, huh.
Yeah.
And then I write that down. And then I go to the stage, and if it makes the audience go ha ha too, I'm like, okay, we have a nugget. Now we just keep watering it.
You don't sit down and like I'm gonna write jokes now.
I know I do, but like.
See, I never really do that. Like I do the shower thing, or I'll go for a long walk and I'll let things make me giggle, and then I'll write them down, and then I'll sit down and like try and flesh out those jokes.
Yeah.
But I don't like just sit down. It's like I'm gonna write about Uber today. Like I've never done that.
No. That's like that. If you first of all, if you don't find it funny, no one else is gonna find it funny.
That's why I have to stop doing jokes, even if they're working. Like I have to.
Don't stop doing jokes.
No, I put them away and I can't do them for a few weeks because like they don't make me laugh anymore.
Right.
And then so I like going back to that performance piece. Like I can't perform them as well.
Yeah.
Right. Like that gentleman joke. If I don't sell that joke, it will not work. Yeah. I have to really be selling that joke.
No, for sure. Yeah. There's an excitement to doing
a new bit.
A new bit that's good. Like,
and it makes you, and you just like you know when you come up with a bit when you were starting to hate yourself and like doubt whether or not you should be doing this.
Yeah.
Like you're like I don't even know if I'm funny enough. Like I know this. Like I got years ahead of me. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it through. It's like and then I don't even know if the podcast is gonna take off. If people are gonna think about it. And then it's like. Skateboards.
Yeah.
Like and then it's like all right, we're good.
And
like,
it's just
you get a new lease on life.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like this weird itch. They're like, I have to feed this. I have to go and see. And it's also just a mystery. Like because sometimes like it made me giggle, but will it make other people giggle? And I just I have to go find out. I love the puzzle of it. I have to go find out. I just have to go find out. Is this funny to me? Is it funny to everybody else? Let's go. Anyways,
all right, so we gotta get you out of here soon. So let's wrap up the last couple questions. I have 2 questions that I ask at the end, and then because I'm gonna these are gonna be the clips that come together. It'll be end up being a super cut because they're cool questions. First question: what in your life? Say you morbidly say you die tonight or tomorrow morning. Like what if you look back at your life? What can you say that you left the world a better place than you got it?
Ooh.
Could be something personal in your own circle, someone you affected in your life, something you've done in life that you resonated. And it could be silly.
No, I think people will I think people genuinely miss me. So and that might be I think people will be really sad.
That's great, man. That means you know what that means. That means you've established relationships in your life that are lasting. That people care about you. Yeah. Like, are you the type of person that keeps your friend group together? Like, are you? You're the one that reaches out and we're doing this and to make sure you stay connected.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, what I do, I have an over-inviting problem. Not a problem, but
a lot of people can't.
What I do is if I have a plan with 3 people, 15 people are gonna know about it and they're all invited. So then I just go, hey,
So your introverted friends must hate you.
Oh yeah. No, I've definitely had people like, why'd you make this so complicated? We're just going to watch a movie, and I was like, no, like you know what I mean? I just want.
We gotta go get drinks for. We gotta go get dinner. We're gonna go to Milestones. Then we're gonna go to. If we don't make the 7:30 show because we're having a really good time at dinner, then we'll catch the later show.
Yeah, exactly. Like I am that guy, so I like it when like everyone comes together. Like I would, and like I'm also like sometimes I'll have friends from different circles meet. And then I just don't even do an introduction. Like I just go, they know each other. They know me, so they must know each other. So I'm like definitely self-centered like that. And so the way I don't when I say like I'm inviting everybody, it is kind of self-centered because I just want it to be a big thing.
Right.
Other people might not, and I haven't even asked them. I'm getting a little better at that now because it's been pointed out to me. So then I asked, hey, is it
well,
cool
that's gonna end up being a good bit because it sounds like it's got a lot of truth in it, right?
Yeah.
And like you know when you think of a bit, it's like, oh, this happens a lot in my life, and then you're just like, it's gonna be a great bit because it's like there's just so much ammunition in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just fun.
So it's just fun, yeah. What's the other question?
And the last question is, I think I could probably guess what your answer is gonna, or what type of answer you're gonna give, and I'll look at the camera and it's gonna be similar to mine. I'm gonna call it right now. It's gonna be similar.
And I'm gonna say to the camera, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that or not.
Yeah. Here it is. I just want you to tell me about your best day, and what I mean by that is like if you could wake up tomorrow morning and you get to relive a day. You don't get to change anything. You don't get to do anything differently. You know, how, like when you rewatch a movie and you catch new details every time.
That's a new question.
And so I want you to and I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine to let you think about yours, right?
Okay.
So mine's my 19th birthday party. It's at my parents' house, and there was 45 people there. It was like my family, my friends, like all my girlfriend at the time.
Right.
Everyone that I really cared about that could make it that night was there.
Right.
It started at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. We had appetizers, and we had drinks, and we had dinner, and then we had dessert, and we had ice cream cake, and it was all about me. And people told good stories. We tasted all these different types of liquor,
right.
And then 11:30 came around. We had second dinner. We had second dinner. We had second dinner, and then it came to like, and then we played poker. And I ended up winning the whole thing. Won like $400 off my friends, which was great. And at that moment, like when I was sitting in that room, surrounded by all these people, sipping a nice scotch, and like sitting next to my dad, him telling me he's proud of me. Like I'm sitting there, and I'm like. Everything made sense because like I wasn't thinking about the past, I wasn't thinking about the future. Just the moment right there was perfect. So follow that. See, that's the comedian to me.
Okay,
we're the stage, and then you could do what you want to do afterwards. Yeah.
All right. This is a hard one because if you like this,
you can have two.
Question.
You can have two, and you're a great conversationalist. So I've said this
to
Sally. I'll have you back, and if you want to have an edit, later on.
So I'm thinking. Here's the thing.
It's whatever jumps to mind first, right?
Yeah, because you're talking about a full day. Mm-hmm. You got to talk about the full day because I could do like a.
I'll say on mine. The beginning of my day wasn't great because like we were having all those people over. I was cleaning and vacuuming the house and getting yelled at by my mother.
So that's what I'm thinking.
But it was like I needed all of that in order to be able to appreciate on the spectrum it was a full day.
So like see I don't think that like I have a different opinion on whether that makes it a good day because I could say like it's my first club spot or my first guest spot or my first like middle or like something like that where it's like it was a big career moment and like the show went great, right? But then I'm spending the whole day actually being nervous about that show usually. Right. Not like back then I was like and then those
a lot of pacing.
Yeah, and a lot of pacing, a lot of like scribbling in books and stuff. So that's not like.
You know we met the first night I did stand up.
Oh, was that the brawl?
No, Rivoli.
Oh, did
back room.
Yeah,
that pro comic went up, and then I had to follow him.
Yeah. You remember who the pro comic was? Was it Deanne Smith? I feel like it was.
No, she went after me.
Somebody else went.
It was someone else. White guy, short hair, funny dude. He really does narrow it down, man. I can't remember. I think it was started with an R or something, but he was like haven't seen him since because he's like that pro. Like I haven't seen him at any shows. Right. It was, and then we were talking in the back room, and then we were. I think I remember it because it got awkward at the end because we were both talking philosophically about stand up, and and then you were like, "How long have you been doing it?" I was like, "Oh, tonight."
That's funny.
It was funny.
Damn.
That just made me think of that because like nervous going into your first show, and then like I was like, who was there the first time I was that nervous? Like you were there.
Yeah. You know what? Like I'm gonna. First of all, if I could ever watch this, like it's not the day you met me. Like, no, it's
someone listened to like my day, and they were like, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I was like, were you invited? Yeah. It's like you didn't make it.
No, you know what? It's gotta be a specific day, dude. That's the hard part because there's like definite like I can just say this.
Well, like here, let's take it off. You could give me the top. You could give me the top 3, or you just like whatever came to mind. Like when I first said it,
I'm gonna
just go with your gut, and then like afterwards.
I'm gonna go with the lame one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the lame one.
Yeah.
It's nothing because yours was so personal. My dad was proud of me and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
my first Billy Talent concert was my first ever concert.
Amazing.
And so that was in first year university. I went to concerts late, and that was a good. It was amazing. That.
All right, set the scene. Tell me about the day.
I don't remember the day.
Who you went with? Who'd you went with?
Yeah. You know what? Okay, here's one. I'll go with this one. So I went to law school.
Really?
Yeah. So the end of first.
Look at my surprise.
Yeah. The end of first year law, the last day, the last exam. Like the first year of law school is such a pressure cooker.
It's like the Boston Mob.
Yeah, it's such. Every day it happens. You know? It's such a high stakes, high pressure sort of environment, and it's just such a. It's like,
because it's basically every day like perform.
Yeah, well, it's like every day just going right. Like, and even I'm a pretty relaxed guy, and then when you get into the exams of it all, then it just goes like even higher. So when you get through that first year, that last day was a good day because even though I had an exam that day, I went, I did it, got through it, and it just like we immediately had an after party, and you're just like the relief, like the wave of relief on you is
What was her name?
No,
I know that's her nickname. Her nickname was Relief.
Yeah,
when I had that wave of a relief just on me.
Like it's a weird thing to explain, but
I understand. You don't know this about me, but like I'm my degree is in actuarial and financial mathematics, so I've done a ton of actuarial exams. So those ones like you don't even go to school for them really. You have to self-study. And it takes like 3 months to prep for them because you have to you do thousands upon thousands of questions and problems to make sure you know it inside and out. And you study when I've done them, I've been working full time or I've been in school and I was still want to be healthy, so I would wake up at like fucking 6 a.m. go to the gym, go to work for 8 hours, come home, eat a snack, and then study for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then that was my like thing for like months on end.
Right.
And then I would have to miss social things. So like by the time I finally got that, and like luckily, knock on wood, every single one I've done, I passed on my first try. It's but that wave of relief and just like euphoria. After those, like when I go into university exams, I'm like,
it's not about
this.
That day. It's not like you're saying pick that day, but what that day really is. It's
the culmination
of 8 months.
Yes.
On the release of that 8 months falling on top of you.
Wow.
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
But is it worth the 8 months? I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, good luck editing that together.
Yeah. Well, I just put it out with an intro on the top, and then I put it out full length for on the audio and on the YouTube video. And then, I'll chop it up into things.
Are we doing a road gig together soon?
I think so. I gotta look at my fucking calendar. There's so many group chats.
Elliot Lake. If you're listening to this and you're in Elliot Lake.
Yeah. Plug what you want to do.
I don't know.
Plug your Instagram and all that stuff.
At J Gill Comedy is my Instagram, and that's it. I don't have anything further than that. Even that, I'm not working hard on. But.
Follow him, man. He dressed us up at Jack Meets Sing.
Oh yeah, we should have talked about that. Next time.
That was funny though. Yeah. Actually, like it just ended. What's it called? That Late Bad show.
Yeah,
which
Late Bad was hilarious.
Just for that 42 after party show. Yeah. That started 12:30, went to like 2 a.m.
It never started at 12:30. It always started at like 12:50.
Yeah, but like it started late and went late. But for one of them, you did a bit.
Yeah, I did a bit. I dressed up as Jack Meat Singh, put the suit, the turban, I grayed my beard, the whole thing. Walked out and did a few jokes. And one of the jokes I did was, Oh no, it's funny because half the audience doesn't realize if I'm this real guy.
Yeah.
And people, that was like the biggest.
You know, send me that picture of you dressed up. I'll cut it in here.
Yeah.
And you'll see, like, it's understandable.
Yeah. Well, the thing was
their confusion was understandable.
Because before that joke,
Yeah.
the bit was kind of not landing. And then
Yeah.
suddenly, like, the joke wasn't like really landing. And I realized after I said it, it was because some of them thought I was the real guy.
They fully thought.
And I thought it was really weird that a guy running for Prime Minister showed up at 1:30 a.m. at Comedy Bar on a Wednesday.
Shouldn't he be campaigning?
Yeah. And then was making like jokes, like, you know, like
Yeah.
doing like, shouldn't he be working on speeches? Like, why is he doing jokes? Like, and then people kept coming up to me after the show, like, hey, like, no, we really thought
We really thought you were the guy.
And I was like, wow, this is a real sad state of things. And also, it's like, I do know Jagmeet a little bit. Like, he doesn't know me, but like, I've met him a couple times, and so it's funny that that happened.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, thank you for having me, dude.
Well, man, thanks for coming on. That was a great episode. It didn't feel like work. So, you know, like, those are the best ones, right?
Right.
And we'll do our little quote thing. We'll figure that out, get you up on the wall, so you live forever. You can join my shrine to loneliness. Well, thanks, guys, for listening. That'll be a wrap on this episode. And, you know, subscribe, follow. You know, I need it. My self-esteem does. Well, let's end on that sad note. Thanks again for listening, guys.